construction. Today we're going to be talking about conversions. So the materials you need, and teacher, pause the video if you need to. Students will need a conversion sheet, a calculator, a note taker, and the worksheet at the end of the lesson. Now that you have everything you need, let's get started. So on your note taker, I want you to write down at least one response to this question. Think about a time you needed to convert from one unit to another. List it. Teacher, pause the video, have the students fill that out on their note taker, and then have them share with your partner. Call on non-volunteers, and I'll be back here in a minute. Welcome back. Good to see you. So one of the things I want to talk to you about then on this is that when you had to convert from one unit to another, it might have been money, it might have been time, it might have been weight. So let's go ahead and go. The first thing we're going to do is a math check. The skill that you're going to need to be really successful today is to remember how to multiply fractions, specifically with canceling. So remember, the top of a fraction is called the numerator. The bottom is called the denominator. So teacher, pause the video and allow the students to work these on their note taker. Have them compare with their partner, and then call on non-volunteers for answers. And I will meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's go to our slate and see how we did. Perfect. So now, let's make sure I have my pen going. And so the first problem was 2/3, and that fraction was times 9/16. All right, so when you're going to do this, there's two ways you can multiply fraction. You can multiply numerators together. 2 times 9 is 18. You can multiply denominators together. 3 times 16 is 48. Then you can simplify. The top and bottom, both, or numerator and denominator, both can divide by 2. So I get 9 over 24. Those can both divide by 3. So I can come up with the answer of 3/8. That's one way to do the problem. I like to go into the problem, though, and simplify. If something in the numerator and something in the denominator have the same factor, you can do that. So I see 2 and 16, they're both even numbers. So I can cross this out and say 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 16 8 times. 3 and 9 both have a factor of 3, so 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times. Then I multiply the denominator. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 8 is 8. Either way, I get the same answer. But I need you to realize that canceling before sometimes makes the problem easier. The second problem said 6 times, and it was 3/8. The other thing you need to remember about multiplying fractions is that both numbers need to be fractions. So a whole number you always put over 1. Again, I'm going to cancel. 6 and 8, both are even, so 2 goes into this 3 times, 2 goes into this 4 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 4 is 4. In some situations, you will leave the number improper, where the numerator is larger than the denominator. In others, you're going to make it a mixed number by dividing the denominator into the numerator. 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. We subtract. We put our remainder on the top and what we divided by on the bottom. Teacher, make sure that students are okay with this. If they need another example or need to work with their partner a little bit more, please do. If not, we're going to cancel this out and we'll go back to the PowerPoint. All right, so let's double check. Oh, look, we got the same answers. We got 3/8 and we got 2 1/4. So we're pretty good in understanding how to do that. Now the objectives on your note taker, please fill in the words that are in red. We're going to define vocabulary today. We're going to list the steps in converting units, and we're going to utilize the steps in converting units. So we're going to get some terms down. We're going to find out what the steps are, and then we're going to use the steps to solve real-world problems. All right, so first thing is on your note taker, you'll have a vocabulary square. The first term that I need you to understand is what a conversion factor is. All right, so what I need you to do is, first of all, check your level of understanding. A check plus means you could have defined it without even having a definition there. You could have taught it to somebody else. Check means I was pretty familiar with it. Check minus might mean I just heard the term, but I don't know what it means. And an X means I've never heard the term at all. On your note taker, the vocab or the definition will be there. It's when you have two quantities that are equal, but they have different units. So what I want you to do is fill in a picture or a drawing that's going to help you remember it. Define it in your own words and write a meaningful sentence. Teacher, pause the video and have the students share their meaningful sentence with their partner and then call on non-volunteers. Welcome back. Now the connection or the new information you can fill out as we go through today's lesson. All right? So now the benefits for you. Why would you ever want to know how to do unit conversion? Again, fill in the things that are in red. One, it's a consistent problem-solving approach. On easier problems, sometimes the answer just jumps in your head, but I know sometimes I've had to really use this to get an answer that took multiple steps. It simplifies computation, and if you ever take chemistry or physics, it's used exclusively in that area. So now, here's an application. By the end of this lesson, we're going to learn how to solve this problem. Your company was hired to repaint an apartment complex. The apartment complex has a total of 163,200 square feet of walls to be painted. We figured out that the painter can paint 85 square feet of wall every 30 minutes, and we want to know how many days it's going to take him to complete the job. We need to know how much to figure in the budget. All right, so here we go. Here are the steps. Step number 1 is write down what you're given as a fraction. Remember, if it's a whole number, put it over 1. So if it was like $6, you put $6 over 1. Step 2 is find the conversion factor or factors. Remember at the beginning, I checked to make sure your teacher had passed out the sheet of conversion factors you'll need to know. You won't have to memorize these. You'll always be given a sheet on a test. Step 3, set up the equation. Step 4, cancel the units. I know in math class you usually play with the numbers first, but here we're going to play with the units, whether they're dollars, pounds, gallons, quarts, wheelbarrow fulls. We need to cancel out the units to make sure that the unit that we end up with is the unit that we want. And then we're going to do the math, which is the most fun part. All right, so what I want the teacher to do is to stop the video and allow the kids to practice with each other these steps, because we're going to quiz on it in just a minute. Welcome back. All right, so what I need you to do is to number these 5 steps in order. Which one's number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Teacher, they can do it on a slate or on the back of their note taker. Have them compare with their partners, and then we'll come back and check. Welcome back. Let's check. Step number 1 is write what you're given as a fraction. Step 2 is find the conversion factors that you're going to need. 3 is set up the equations. 4 is cancel the units. And 5 is do the math. How'd you do? Hope you did well. All right, now here's an example we're going to do, because I know that if I ask you this question, you would know the answer already. So we just want to prove to you that the steps are going to work. So I want to convert $5 to quarters. If you need to tell your partner that you already know the answer, that's fine. So step 1 is on your note taker, write what you're given as a fraction. So write the $5 over 1. Please remember to write the units. All right, step 2. Find the conversion factor. This is one you probably just know from common everyday life, that $1 equals 4 quarters or 4 quarters equals $1. Step 3 is to set up the equations. So I put $5 over 1 and 4 quarters over $1. So add that to your note taker if you haven't written it down already. And the question I want to ask is, why is the fraction written 4 quarters over $1 instead of $1 over 4 quarters? Teacher, pause the video, allow students to share with their partner, and call on non-volunteers, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. The reason is that I want the dollar signs to cancel out. And remember, to cancel, something has to come from a numerator or the top of a fraction, and something has to come from a denominator. It's like when you get dressed in the morning, you need something that covers your top and something that covers your bottom, or people will stare, I guarantee you. All right, step 4 is cancel the units, so the dollar signs cancel out. Step number 5 is to do the math. So 5 times 4 is 20, and we get the label of quarters. I bet that's what you thought in the beginning anyway. So let's look. Let's convert 156 inches into feet. So what I need you to do right now is the first thing is find or think of in your mind what's the conversion factor that we're going to use. All right. So we're going to go to the slate. All right, First thing I'm going to do is I know that originally I had 156 inches. Step number 1 says to write it as a fraction. So I'm going to write it as a fraction. I'm going to put it over 1. I need to change inches into feet. So I looked on my sheet and I found that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. I bet you already knew that too. So I come over here and I have to make a decision on which goes in the numerator and which goes in the denominator. I want to cancel inches out and it's in a numerator, so I have to put inches in the denominator so they'll cancel out. That means feet go in the top, and then I just put in my numbers, 12 inches, 1 foot. Inches cancel with inches, so I get 156 feet over 12, or I could have canceled, so let's divide. 12 goes into 156. I bet if you have your calculator, you can do it faster, but that's okay. And it goes in 3 times. So the answer is 13, and it's feet. Please remember to label your answers. That's the key. I need to know it's 13 feet and not 13 donuts. All right. Add this to your note taker. If the students need you to pause the video, teacher, please pause. Welcome back. Let's go back to the PowerPoint, and we'll check. Oh, look, I got the right answer. 156 inches is 13 feet. All right, for this one, 960 minutes, I need to convert it to hours. And again, I know you could have probably figured these out a different way, but I need you to do it by this method. So let's go to the slate. Be thinking about what the conversion factor is. What I was given is 960 minutes. Just going to abbreviate it. So I put that over 1. Then I'm going to think about what the conversion factor is. I know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. Notice minutes is in the numerator. I want it to cancel out, so I'm going to put it in the denominator over here. That means hours go in here. I just fill out the numerical values, 60 and 1. First thing is minutes, cancel with minutes. And I think 60 goes evenly into 960. Because I do know my times tables. 360, it goes in 6 times. No remainder, so it will be 16. And remember the label of hours. It's the only label left. So add this one to your note taker. If you need to pause the video, teacher, please do. Welcome back. Let's clear this off and let's go back to our PowerPoint. And let's check to see how we did. Got the right answer. Now it's you try. I want you to convert on your note taker 6 pounds into ounces. All right, teacher, pause the video, have them work with their partner, and I'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back, and let's see how you did. So let's go to our slate. And I have what was given to me was 6 pounds. Abbreviation of pounds is LBS. I put that over 1. I know I've got to figure out pounds to ounces. I know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. Oops, there we go. So I need pounds on the bottom. So I put 1 pound on the bottom. Ounces is going to go on the numerator because that's what I want, and 16. The pounds cancel out with the pounds. I hope you just didn't go ahead and divide because here we need to multiply 16 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36, carry the 3. 6 times 1 is 6 and 3 more is 9. So that's 96 ounces. Hope you got it right. All right. Pause the video if you need to check or have any further discussion. Welcome back. Let's delete this and go back to our PowerPoint. Let's check. Oh, we got it right. We got it right. Now, the next one is going to be a little more confusing because it's going to be a 2-step. We're going to convert miles to inches. And if you notice on your conversion sheet, there's no conversion for miles to inches. So we're going to have to do 2 conversions. So I want you to figure out how to convert miles to feet and feet to inches. Find those 2 conversion facts on your conversion sheet. And let's go to our slate. So I'm starting out with 2 miles. And when I get finished, I want to end up someplace over here, but I want it to be in inches. So I needed to look up the conversion facts. First conversion I know is 1 mile is 5,280 feet. And then 1 foot is 12 inches. Now I can go from miles to inches. Okay, so let's go up here and see what the thought process is. I have miles in the numerator, so I need it to cancel. So I'm going to put miles in the denominator, and that goes to feet. So 1 mile is 5,280 feet. I have an S on it, and I didn't need it. All right, times. Now, I want to get rid of feet, so I'm going to put feet in the bottom. That means inches is in the numerator. 1 foot is 12 inches. So feet cancel with feet. Miles cancel with miles. Inches is the unit I wanted, and there we go. So I need to take 5,280 times 2 times 12. So punch that into your calculator or your phone if your teacher allows, and let's see what you got. So I'm going to do it quickly in my head. 12 times 2 is 24. So I need to take 5,280 times 24. 0, 2, carry the 3, 8, 3 is 11, 21. 2 times that is 0, 16, carry the 1 is 5, 10, 1. I get 0, 2, 7, 6, 1, 2, and that will be inches. 126,720 inches. Man, that's a lot of inches. So let's check. Double check my work on your calculator, see if I made a mistake. I'm pretty sure I was okay. Pause the video if you need any further discussion, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Welcome back. Let's clear our slates and let's go back. All right, let's check. Oh, got it right. So now you try on your slates to convert 216 inches into yards using 2 steps. All right, teacher, pause the video and have the students convert. Welcome back. Let's go to our slates and see. We had 216 inches, and we want to change that to yards. So I know 12 inches is 1 foot, and I know 3 feet is 1 yard. So let's see. We have 216 inches, put it over 1, times. Now I want to get rid of the label of inches, so inches is going to go in the denominator, feet's going to go in the numerator, so I get 12 inches is 1 foot. Now I want to get rid of the label of feet because remember I want to get to yards, so feet goes in the denominator, yards goes in the numerator. 3 feet is 1 yard. All right, let's see. Inches cancel with inches, feet cancel with feet, so I have a label of just yards, so I'm going to get 216 yards. And on the denominator, 12 times 3 is 36. So I've got to do a little quick division. 36 into 216. I think it goes 6 times. Seems right. 6 times 6 is 36. Carry the 3. 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 20, 21. Works. No remainder. So that would give me an answer, a final answer of 6 yards. How'd you do? Not too difficult if you just remember to focus on the units. So pause if the students need to, teacher. If not, I'll meet you back here in a minute. Let's delete. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. And let's go back to, let's check. We did it perfectly fine. Now, in your note taker, add these values, all right? Your company was hired to repaint an apartment complex. The apartment complex has a total of 163,200 square feet, so add that to your note taker. The painter can paint 85 square feet every 30 minutes. How many days will it take him to complete that? So please note too that 1 day of work is 8 hours. All right? So here's how we're going to attack these larger problems. First step is take that problem and underline anything that you think is important. There's some information in there that really doesn't matter, some that's very important. So pause the video, teacher, and make sure everybody's underlined what they think is important. I underlined the most important things in this problem. The most important things were that there's 163,200 square feet of walls, that a painter can do 85 square feet every 30 minutes. And they want to know how many days it takes him to complete this job. Right? So on your slates, write down the conversion factors you think that you will need to solve this problem. Teacher, pause the video, have the students fill out their slates, have them compare them with their partner, and then have them show you. Welcome back. Here are the conversion factors you're going to need. We know that from the problem, 30 minutes the painter can paint 85 square feet. So 30 minutes would equal to 85 square feet. We know logically 1 hour is 60 minutes. You also had to know that one workday is usually 8 hours, right? So let's go ahead and work out the problem. Let's go to our slate. All right, the first thing I know is that 160, let me get on the slate, 163,200 square feet is what I have to paint. So I'm going to put that over 1. Now the other ones can be in any order that you want, because remember, multiplication is commutative. But I want to get rid of square feet, so I'm going to put 85 square feet. And 85 square feet is equal to 30 minutes of time of the painter. So square feet cancel out with square feet. Now I want to get rid of minutes, so I'm going to put 60 minutes is 1 hour. That way minutes can cancel with minutes. And then I want to get rid of hours, and I know that 8 hours is 1 workday. I'm just going to put 1 day, but we can understand that's workday. So now I can cancel out hours with hours, and I have the labels left of days. So now I'm going to do the multiplication out, and I come out with 120 days is what it's going to take him to do this, 1 painter at a time. So if I was the boss, I think I'd need to hire more painters. Now, double check the arithmetic in your calculators. Remember, when you put something like this in your calculator, you put your parentheses, 163,200 times 30, close your parentheses, divided by parentheses 85 times 60 times 8. And then that should give you the correct answer. If you do it step by step, it's going to take a lot of steps, so I like to use the parentheses. And go back to our PowerPoint. Let's go on. This one's kind of interesting to me. A construction project that has been moving an incredible amount of dirt. They move 9,000 cubic yards of dirt each day. I'm old enough to remember the old days where people had to do it manually, and I want to know how many barrels full of dirt would be equivalent to 9,000 cubic yards if your regular old wheelbarrow can only do 6 cubic yards. So what I need you to do is figure out what your conversion factor is. So let's go back through, and let's first of all underline anything that's important. All right, pause the video and underline, and then let's come back. I found out that the 2 things are most important in this one was that it was 9,000 cubic yards, and I need it to be in cubic feet. So what conversion factors do you need? All right, check on your sheet, and let's see. Teacher, have the students show you the video or show you the slates when they are ready. All right, let's check. 2 conversion factors. 1 cubic yard is equal to 27 cubic feet, because a cubic yard is 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet, and each one of our wheelbarrow was 6 cubic feet. So let's go ahead and see. Let's go to our PowerPoint, to our slate and see what we have. All right, we had 9,000 cubic yards. Put that over 1 times 27 cubic feet. Let's get rid of this. Is 1 cubic yard times 6 cubic feet is 1 wheelbarrow full. Wow, that's a lot of wheelbarrows full. All right, let's see what happens. So let's cancel out. Cubic yards cancel with cubic yards. Cubic feet cancel with cubic feet. So let's real quickly, if you need to, use your calculator. If not, I'm going to use mine. And I came out with 40,500 wheelbarrow fulls. That would be a lot of man time to move that much dirt. We're so lucky we live in a time with machinery. All right, check it out. Add it to your note taker. Let's clear this out and let's go back. Let's try another problem. We got it correct, 40,500. Boy, that would be a lot of work. I'm glad I'm not doing that. So now you try. You work with your partner to try this problem and add the missing number. You've been contracted to lay concrete at a cabin in the forest. The cabin has no water source other than a really slow pumping well. You're pumping at 1 cup per second into 1125 or 1,125 gallon storage tank, and I want to figure out how long it takes to fill the tank. All right, so work with your partner. Teacher, pause the video. Please know that you're going to have quite a few steps because we're going from cups into gallons. All right, welcome back. Let's go to our slate. And let's see. We started out with 1,125 gallon tank. Gallon can be, and then I need to convert it. I noticed on my sheet that 1 gallon was 4 quarts. All right, we're getting closer. Quarts are smaller than gallons. Now we have 1 quart is 2 pints. Quarts cancel with quarts. 1 pint is 2 cups. So pints cancel with pints. But we wanted to know how long, so we've got to get into a little bit farther. So we found out that the pump pumped at 1 cup per second. Cups cancel with cups. Well, most people can't figure out seconds, so we're going to go all the way to hours. So 60 seconds is 1 minute. That way seconds can cancel with seconds. And then 60 minutes is 1 hour. Boy, that was a lot of converting. But we came out with the answer that we wanted of hours. So multiply all the numerators together on your calculator and divide it by, when you punch it in to your calculator, put parentheses 1125 times 4 times 2 times 2, close your parentheses because the ones aren't going to change value, divided by parentheses 60 times 60. Check it in your calculator, and what I came out with is 5 hours. Check to make sure that your math matches mine. Pause the video if students need a little more time. Welcome back. Let's go back to our PowerPoint and see if I did it correctly. We set it up. Here we go. We got 5 hours. Boy, that's a lot of conversion, but it wasn't too difficult. Nothing in there was too scary. All right, so now for closure, on your note taker, write a tweet to a friend or an absent classmate, and remember you can only use 140 characters or less to describe how you would do unit conversion. I'll meet you back here next time for another construction math lesson.